Welcome to this episode of Daily Dose of Dan, episode 12. 12 episodes. We're doing so awesome on this. Anyway, today's going to be a 4K movie review. I wanted to get some on here on the channel so that way people had more than one to choose from. So anyway, today we're going to be doing a review on Hobbs and Shaw on 4K. This movie was probably one of the best from the franchise of the Fast and Furious series, in my opinion. Jason Statham, he's amazing. The Rock, he's amazing, and they're side characters of the franchise. So it's kind of cool that they got their own spinoff. I guess they don't really have. I guess The Rock and Vin Diesel hate each other, so there's probably a good chance you're never going to see them in the same movie again. So, but anyway, they have two different work ethics. I think Vin Diesel is more laid back, kind of chill, whereas The Rock is pretty intense. Like to achieve what he has physically and whatever, he would be an intense individual. So I can see how those two concepts would clash with each other. On RottenTomato.com, they give it a 68% fresh, and the audience score is 88%. So it is definitely well liked. Idris Elba's in it, and he's awesome. Like, I mean, dude, how does he not be the next James Bond? I have no idea. He totally should have. Like, I'd have watched 12 James Bond movies with Idris Elba in it. So anyway, on IMDb, they rated a 6.5 out of 10, which is a little lower than what I'd like. I think it should definitely be in the 7, almost to 8 category. It's got a 2-hour and 17-minute runtime. It came out in 2019. Some little factoids about it. I guess in one of the background shots, there's an actual scene where there's a picture of The Rock with his actual dad, which I think is pretty awesome that they kind of snuck that little factoid in there. Been a huge Jason Statham fan, all the way back to Transporter. Before that, I think he was in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, little bit roles or whatever. It's obviously got HDR. I'm gonna check to make sure I don't want to misquote here. I wish they'd do a better job of showing it. Yes, it's got Dolby Atmos. So because of it being a newer movie, I'll show you on the back where they put the Dolby Atmos. It's like super tiny in the bottom area. Unless you got super good eyes, it's hard to track down. I wish they'd throw it in the bottom corner or somewhere. But sometimes I would assume that the studios don't want you to know. They didn't want to pony up the $100,000 to do the Dolby Atmos track. But anyway, Dolby Atmos, the best way to describe it is like some of the amazing stuff that I've seen with the Dolby Atmos. I just did the review for Highlander. And during rain sequences, it totally feels like you're being rained on. I mean, there is a huge difference, night and day, to be honest with you. But that doesn't take away from movies that are older. That I understand, I get it. You know, Highlander, is it a huge franchise movie? No. So I could see why they wouldn't want to do it. Whereas Fast and Furious, because it being a newer movie, they may have already got most of the work done, so maybe it was easier and didn't cost them $100,000. But I would definitely recommend getting this movie, even if you're not really keen on the other Fast and the Furious movies. You don't necessarily have to have seen those to appreciate this movie. The rivalry between The Rock's character and Jason Statham's character is hilarious. You'll laugh like crazy. They just have two different styles. Their characters are just two different. I wonder how much of the feud between Vin Diesel and The Rock play into the character development of Hobbs and Shaw. But Kevin Hart makes an appearance in it. I just want to let all you know that there's going to be spoilers in these movies. So, if you're not, if you're hardcore about someone that's a spoiler person, I apologize in advance. I get it. But these movies have been out for a while. I'm not going to do I'm going to do a movie review on Ant-Man that's coming out here soon, and I'll try my best not to include any spoilers because to the point that nowadays I have a hard time even watching trailers. They put a lot of good scenes in trailers. They don't need to. An example, Do you have to show everything in Ant-Man with the idea of like, oh, people aren't going to go see it? The people that have seen the Ant-Man movies or the MCU, they're going to go see it. So what are you doing? Like, you think that by showing like a really cool scene, someone's going to be like, well, I wasn't going to see it, but now that I've seen that awesome scene, I'm definitely going to go see it. No. All you're doing is ruining it for the people that really want to enjoy it and then be surprised at some point in the movie, like, oh my God. Because what you're doing is you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, aren't you? Like that scene that everyone was going to talk about or tell their friends, like, oh my God, you got to go see this movie. There's an awesome scene, you know. And now everyone's seen it in the trailer. And you're just like, okay. I'll give you an example. Back when the Star Wars series was coming out, and the one where Yoda fights, they didn't show him jumping around fighting. Why? Because that was awesome. All of us Star Wars fans, you know, we knew, you know, Yoda was a Jedi. Obviously, you know, he has a lightsaber and he fights and stuff, but we'd never seen it. If you'd have shown that in the trailer, dude, people would have freaked out. They'd be like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm so glad they didn't, because it was such an awesome experience to like be surprised. Oh my God, Yoda's fighting. You know, you practically stood out of your seats in excitement. You know, so for them to show all the stuff in the trailers these days is really a bummer, because I love trailers. It gets you excited about seeing a movie. You know, for Black Panther, Wakanda, my wife and I chose not. Anytime a trailer came on, we closed our eyes because, or, you know, turned the channel or whatever, because we didn't want the movie to be ruined. We were so looking forward to the new Black Panther movie that, you know, we really had to try hard not to see any of the trailers. But so then, so yeah, this movie right here is probably a must-own, especially if you're into action movies. I think action and sci-fi movies tend to get more of the benefit from the 4K format than like your dramas and stuff, because, you know, let's be honest, CGI, you know, it looks amazing and stuff on the big screen when you go. That's one of the reasons to go to the theater. But the dramas, it's, you know, thank gosh it's in Dolby Atmos, so it sounds like the guy's talking in my living room. That don't make any sense. So anyway, we're going to be summing up this episode of Daily Dose of Dan with the message. I think the message is going to be, let's see, unlikely brothers. If you and we'll even include sisters in there as well. Family, the Fast and Furious premises. It's all about family. Family isn't just blood. Family is friends as well. And to think about where that line extends, I think it's blurred. I don't think, because you can have family members that you don't respect or talk to, whereas you've got friends that you would bend over backwards to help at any given moment. So family, and that's where they kind of touch in the Fast and Furious series, is the people that he's made his family aren't necessarily blood related. And I think by the end of this movie, Hobbs and Shaw are kind of brothers in this. So even though, you know, they bicker and they bust each other's balls and, you know, whatever, it's about respecting each other's differences, but yet enjoying each other's company. And I think it's important that people try to overlook the fact that, like, oh well, he's not my blood relative. It's like, does that really even matter? Like, in our day and age, like, there was a time, I'm sure there was a time that, you know, blood was thicker than water. But you know what? That time's long gone, because, you know, of all the families that have, you know, broken up, and then step-kids and step-parents and stuff. So love is love, and respecting each other is respecting each other. So respect each other and understand that family doesn't have to necessarily be blood related. And this has been your episode of Daily Dose of Dan. Tune in tomorrow. Catch you later. Love you.